today's topic is e-commerce business operations. It's by me, Kelly Ward, and Tony Mitchell. So we're going to start off. Yeah.
I'm going to say, I'm going to be quiet. That's going to be unusual. But
all right, so we can go on to the next little slide.
Okay, oops. Okay, there we are.
So a little bit about me. I've been selling online e-commerce since 2014. I'm a nurse. Been a nurse for over 20 years. I just wanted to find a way to make a little extra money, but I didn't want to be selling smelly candles, makeup, even though I sell makeup on Amazon now, but I didn't want to be like the Avon lady, or that just wasn't me. So I like finding bargains and being able to do stuff like that. And so now I go to go shopping and sell on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, and Poshmark, and I get my shopping fix, and I make a little extra money that way. I've spoken at several e-commerce conferences on different parts of business operations. So that's why we are talking about this today. It's going to be very good for the new year coming up to get your business starting on the right foot. I am married down here in Houston, Texas area, and I have 4 children ranging in age from, my son just turned 24 last weekend. Can't believe it. I know. I make me feel so old. And my youngest is 15.
Wow. Okay, am I supposed to talk now?
Yeah, your turn.
Okay, all right. I'm really trying to be good and not talk a lot. You guys who are on here with us, that's kind of unusual. So I'm a teacher. I'm Tony Mitchell, and I'm a teacher, and I played around with selling online, when eBay first started, but I really, I said a full-fledged here, but I really didn't get into this e-commerce thing like Kelly and everybody else until 17. And the funny thing is that I got connected through Kelly and Nicole and the rest of them through one of my former students. I've been teaching for 31 years, and I want this to be my last year. And I've said that every year for at least as long as Kelly's known me. But I do enjoy teaching. It's just a lot of the other stuff. But I sell on platforms such as Facebook Marketplace, Amazon, and eBay. In fact, we sold my husband's car 2 weeks ago on Facebook Marketplace, and it was hilarious watching it because my husband kept saying, "Oh, we need to get an ad here and an ad there," and I'm like, "Let's just put it up on Marketplace." Married to my fabulous husband, and I have we have a blended family. We have 4 daughters between 28 and 21. My youngest, Olivia, turned 21 yesterday. And my oldest, Mel, is 28. Oh, I forgot to mention, I do have a son-in-law now. And I presented at e-commerce conferences on various topics. My main things are, I like to shop just like Kelly. I like to save money. I don't like to pay full price for anything because if I don't pay full price, or even if I save money on top of the sale price, that's just that much more of my profit margin. And that's really more of what I'm knowledgeable about. I also have presented about bundles. This is going to be kind of a new territory for me because I kind of fly by the seat of my pants a lot. So I'm going to learn a lot as we're going to be presenting the next, at least this week and the next time we meet after the holidays. So anyway, I'm excited. This is going to be a great session that we've got for y'all tonight. So get ready.
Yeah, get your pen and pencils out because I know when I presented this topic, people came up to me and said, I took so many notes. So if you don't have a pen and pencil, go find one right now. I give you 15 seconds. Run. All right, we'll go on to the next slide.
Okay.
All right, so what is business operations and how does it affect you? So before you start, you need to know what you need to do before you start a business. A lot of people just say, oh, I'm going to start on eBay. I'm going to sell on eBay. Just start selling on eBay and not realizing there's all these things that need to be done. And then once tax time comes around, they're like, trying to get information from from Facebook. Don't take information on how to do your taxes from Facebook, people. That's not cool. And they were like, oh, I'm supposed to pay taxes on stuff I'm selling. Oh, I need to be doing this, you know, and they've been selling for 9 months and they haven't been keeping track of anything they need to know for their taxes. So we'll be talking a little about taxes, but you need to consult a tax professional to get to know what you really need to do for your state, because every state's different about what things they can do for state taxes and what you need to do for federal taxes. So you need to consult a CPA, accountant about taxes, but we'll talk a little bit about it later on in legal and how to set up your business legal structures. But you need to know about understanding business legal structures, because if someone sues your business and you don't have anything set up to protect you, you can lose your house. You can lose your own money, even though it's not your business money. So you're gonna need to learn how you want to protect you and your family with if you don't pay your taxes. Because if you sell for 3-4 years and then you get audited and they're like, oh, wait a minute, you've been selling on eBay for how long? And you made how much? Oh, well, you need to give us some money. And then you'll be paying the IRS for a little while if you don't go ahead and start paying now. And then also you want to know about why you need to have a business plan, because if you don't have a plan of where you're going to go, your business will be going all over the place and you're not going to be able to grow your business as you want. All right, next slide, please. All right. I like this quote: to build a successful business, you must start small and dream big. Just a little trivia I looked over here. Sam Walton, he was the guy who started Walmart, the store that's every 5 miles. Here in Texas, every 5 miles you hit a Walmart. Sam Walton started with one store in 1950. He opened Walton's 5 and 10 dime store. Because that's what they had back then. They didn't have Walmart. They had the 5 and 10 store. The Walmart chain started in 1962. 12 years later, he started the Walmart chain store with one store in Arkansas. And they slowly built. They didn't open its first super center like we have today, where you have the grocery store and everything in the world you can buy at Walmart now, kind of like Amazon. He didn't open that until 1988.
Hey, can I throw in a piece of trivia on your trivia?
Sure.
Well, where I grew up out in East Texas, the neighboring town, Mount Pleasant, Texas, was the first Walmart that existed outside of Arkansas. And it was opened in 1979. So, I mean, you know how big Walmart is now, but think about it. 79 was just 40 years. I mean, I say just 40 years ago because I'm definitely more than 40. Some of you guys are probably way under 40. But, it's in my lifetime. I remember going to that Walmart in Mount Pleasant, and that'd be the place you went on Friday night and, to see people. Because that's where my mother, when I'd go with her, which was kind of embarrassing being with her, because, you're in high school and you don't be seen with your mom. But you would see everybody because everybody else was with their mom. So it ended up being a social place too. So that was just kind of a trivia on the trivia. So which one?
Yeah, so from the 5 and 10 store he built to the first super center in 1988, that was almost 40 years. So if you're going to be growing a business, you're not going to be growing $1 million in the first 6 months, not unless you've done some kind of crazy, if you invent some kind of thing that changes the world, maybe. But if you starting off slow and small, like many resellers or online sellers, you're not getting $1 million in 6 months. No matter what dads say, crazy dads will might tell you, but you can build it up slowly and be able to retire comfortably from your current position, or retire your family, retire your husband. That's what, like, fire your boss. So let's go on. Let's find out what we need to do before you start a business. So the 5 things, sometimes there's longer lists, but I broke it down to 5 things you need to do before you start a business. These are things you should do. If you've already started your business, that's fine. Just plan to get these steps done in the near future. Use it for the New Year's resolutions, for the New Year's for my business. I need to get ahead and get these things done so I have it, my business running well for the next year. So let's start with writing a business plan. We're going to go over all this more in detail over the next slides. I'm just going to give you what we're going to go over. We're going to write business plans. We're going to choose a legal structure of how you want your business set up, how to get your business registered, the licenses you need, and the tax identification numbers you need for running your business. Understanding your competition in the marketplace, that's very big, because some people, they just jump in and don't understand that I can't sell on this stuff on this platform. I can't sell this stuff on this platform. I have to be able to understand where I need to put my products that's best for my customers. And then also how to finance your business and some business finance tips for running your business. And next slide. All right, so we're going to start with the business plan. Everyone has a reason they start the business. Your why you started your business. Me and Tony kind of talked about it. We wanted to retire from our jobs. Maybe you want to be able to have extra money to pay for your kids' extracurricular activities. Maybe you just want the money to pay for vacations. What's the reason you started your business? At your mission, and what kind of strategies you want to use to get to meet that vision. Do you want to sell on this platform? Do you want to go to thrift stores and find stuff to sell there? Do you want to go to the grocery store and find stuff on clearance and sell it? What's your action to get your vision done? Next slide.
Well, before, one thing is you got to remember that you may change your whole business plan, because I literally tanked my business plan after the first year. And after speaking with my spouse and looking at the data, we decided to do something differently. And I will tell you, this year's my sales have not been as high as they were the previous year. However, my profit margin is larger. So you may have to look after the first year and go, oh, it looks like I'm selling a lot of stuff, which I am, but I'm not making a whole lot based on the amount of work I'm doing. So what can I do? And that's what, so be realistically, Kelly's got some great information here. Just think about, sometimes your business plan, you need to be also thinking that it may be a fluid thing, some parts of it, because you may decide that you're doing too much work for the amount of money you're making and you figure out something differently. So I had to throw that in. I'm trying not to say anything.
There's times I've changed stuff too. When I first started on eBay, it's like, oh, I'm only going to sell this stuff. Oh, I'm only going to sell this stuff. I don't want to sell that stuff because I'm scared of it. But eventually I'm like, why am I scared of it? It's just like selling that. The shipping might be a little different, but once you've learned how to do shipping, it's not as scary. So next. Okay, so we're going to talk about making your business plan. So the business plan is kind of like a roadmap, so you know where you're going. It should include like a mission statement, objectives, and what's your company description and potential. lot of this is more for like if you want to get someone to invest in your company to help you build your company, that they'll want to see a business plan. But you can also say, well, I plan to start out selling on eBay and then take the profits from eBay, start selling on Amazon, and then use eBay to sell the stuff from Amazon that doesn't sell and continue to grow my Amazon. That's a solid business plan right there. And you just have to kind of write it down, because if it's not written down, it's just a dream in your head. Now, where to find and help for making a business plan? The Small Business Administration. If you don't have this website, you need to write down sba.gov.
Kelly, do you want me to open it up? Because I did hyperlink it. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Open it up. That website has a ton of great information of how to help you start your business, grow your business, where you can find local help.
First, since you're talking about writing your business plan, you want me to click on it? And then it just...
Yeah, and there's templates on there for you to download and just be able to use. But you can also go to the small business development centers, and they have people there that you can sit down with, and they will help you do this stuff, so that in case you're like a caught in the deer in the headlights and don't know what you're doing, they'll be able to help you.
All right, I'm gonna go back.
So you just go to there's like up there, it says learn local assistance, and that's where you can find the local you want the
district offices, and it even tells you can even put it by state, so
you can put your zip code in and they'll tell you where the local office is. And
yeah, sorry, I'm on a Mac, so some people discriminate against Macs, but that's all right. It's funny, anytime somebody wants to have an excuse if they can't find something, I'm on a Mac, oh my gosh. But anyway, it tells you exactly how many miles you are from your from where you put your zip codes. I mean, to be quite honest.
Yeah, there's usually a small business development center. It's also where you look. They have small, that's they have more of those than the regional offices, like head all over those small business development centers usually.
Okay. I'm not, let's see, come back here, you little, all right. I'm like every other high school kid I teach. Let me just click some more. Let me click and click and click. Oh, look, let me just click some more. And they also have courses too, y'all.
Yeah, they have courses. So if you just have some time, just go to this sba.gov website, and it's just like everything's there for you. And there's even, like, I know a lot of us are women in this group, and they have stuff just for women because they know it's harder for women to get into business sometimes.
Okay, I'll go back to you want to go back to the slides now?
Yes.
Okay.
We could be on that all night.
I know we could. That's the reason I was like, we better get back over here because we could talk till the cows come. All right.
All right. So now we're going to talk about the business legal structures. This is just a guide to explain the different business structures. Like I have on the disclaimer down here. It's best to consult a lawyer or your accountant on to which is the best that suits your business. So first is sole proprietorship. That's what most businesses are on there selling on eBay that I know of. That's owning an unincorporated business by yourself. The expenses and income is on your personal income tax. You file a Schedule C with your taxes, also file Form SE to calculate how much self-employment taxes you owe. So you have all these extra taxes you're going to have to pay on what you make. So when we talk about saving money for taxes later on. So advantage is it's a simple structure. You just have to fill up a couple extra forms when you're doing your income taxes. Disadvantage is you're responsible personally for any of the company's liabilities. So that puts your assets at risk. If you have a house, if you have a big savings account and stuff, and someone sues your company, well, they're suing you because that's your company, it's you. And also they can also be seized for business debts. If your business doesn't do well and you end up running a bunch of debt, they'll come after you for it and not the company. So that's sole proprietorship. And with taxes, you have to know about what you need to you gotta save your receipts and watch your mileage, but most your accountant or CPA should tell you more about that. Go on to partnership. That's a business owned by several individuals. Maybe you and hopefully not a family member, because that usually doesn't end up good. But maybe you and your brother, or you and your sister, or you and some friends make a business, and the partners manage the business and assume responsibility for the partnership's debts and obligations. Advantage is the tax treatment does not pay taxes on income, but passes through profit/losses to the individual partners. And you must file it's called Form 1065, and each partner reports their share of the income loss on the Schedule K1. I'm just repeating what I've read. I couldn't tell you what Schedule K1 looked like. This is what I learned from research. Disadvantage is each partner is personally liable for the partnership's obligation and debts. So if someone goes and blows all the company's money in Vegas and runs up a gambling debt, well, everyone else is liable for all that. So you gotta have really good trust in your partners if you want to do a partnership. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but in business school, our professors always told us, do not ever do a partnership. Whatever you do not ever get in a partnership with anybody for those reasons. So,
all right, with corporation, this is more complex and expensive than most other business structures. Your business becomes an independent legal entity that separates it from you as an owner, which is good for protecting your assets, but requires complying with more regulations and tax requirements. So you have to follow even more regulations and tax requirements as a corporation. And you pay double taxes on the business earnings, and you're subject to corporate income taxes at both the federal and state level. I haven't heard too many good things about the corporations. Then there's the S corporations. This is mostly attractive to small business owners. It's more appealing because of the tax benefits and still provides the business owners with the liability protection of a corporation. So you get some tax benefits, but you're still protected like a corporation. The income loss passes through to the shareholders. Apparently you have a bunch of shareholders that help you with your business. and it's included on the shareholders' income tax returns. The disadvantage is you're subject to many of the rules that the corporation has, and you must follow the tax laws and stuff like corporations, which means higher legal and tax service costs. So it's more expensive. Limited liability companies, LLC. I've heard of a lot of resellers or online sellers that use this. It's a hybrid entity that brings together the best features of a partnership and of corporations. It provides the business owners with the liability protection of a corporation, but does not have the double taxation. The earnings and losses are passed through the owners and are included on their personal tax returns. So that's just kind of a short summary of each of this business, I can't talk, business legal structures. So you have to kind of decide what would be best for your business. And you can start off at one level at, say, a sole proprietorship, and once you get to become a larger, maybe you'll become an LLC eventually. It's just go at your own flow and what eventually works for your business. Next slide. Okay, registering your business. Now, each state and county, city, little towns, they all have different requirements for registering business. So the best thing would be to contact your local county clerk to find out what you need for your area or your city, commerce, just go to, find out what you need for your area. You can go to the SBA.gov. They have people that can help you find out that so you can get your business properly registered. The EIN number is you get free from the IRS. That way it's not your social security number that's attached directly to for your business. Like for me, my EIN number is what I used when I signed up for Amazon, because I went ahead and got that before I started working for Amazon, selling on Amazon. Sometimes it feels like you're working for them.
Amen.
But you can get that, just go to irs.gov website and you follow through the, you just Google how to get an EIN number and the instructions are there. In some states require to get you register your DBA, which is doing business as, it's kind of like a fictitious name for your business. Like if, say you had a cupcake shop and you want to have Tony's Cupcake Shop as your business name, then you have to register it, because they want to make sure that there's not going to be 15 Tony's Cupcake Shop in the same area. They're like, oh, nope, sorry, that name's already taken. So you have to come up with a different name. So I get confusing. But, you have to register your DBA, and sometimes you have to pay a fee. I think I've had to pay maybe like $15 to register my business. It wasn't much, but these are little things you have to find out and get going and to get your business up and going. All right, next. I'll talk about competition. Competition is a good thing. It forces you to do your best. I mean, if you just keep on putting out mediocre work, you're not going to get very far. I mean, they say that the lowest doctor in the class is still called doctor, but I don't know if I want him. So, makes you having to compete against other sellers, and you want your stuff to sell, you're going to have to do your best work So we're going to talk about understanding your competition and your marketplace.
Okay.
So what you could do from understanding your competition is you learn from your competition. You learn from competition when you're looking at stuff that's sold on Amazon, what sells and what doesn't sell. So you can say, well, that's selling a lot, so I can see that that sells. That's learning from your competition. And you could look up something like that has a rank of 15 million. That ain't selling. You just learn from your competition because someone else has it sitting there listed collecting dust somewhere or collecting storage fees. Or maybe see, well, it sells every once in a while. Maybe I'll just merchant fulfill that instead of sending it into Amazon. Save myself from storage fees. While that other seller, yeah, they have the Prime box, but they still getting those storage fees. So first you find
Those things are huge this time of year. Woo. Woo.
yeah, I'll go ahead and put in the next slide. Yeah,
They're not cheap.
Q4 storage fees are not fun. I
Mm.
put a bunch of stuff on blowout right before this weekend.
I did some, but I didn't do it fast enough. I mean, my husband does my books. Like Kelly's talking about, my husband has a spreadsheet on a spreadsheet on a spreadsheet. It's crazy, but it's awesome because it takes care. I mean, he has clicks and clicks, and we know exactly where I'm at. But he looked at me and goes, "Man, you got killed on fees this week." And I said, "I know. I saw the storage fee," and we just both shook our heads and said, "I better get it out of there." So I started, like Kelly said, blowing it out and making some decisions. So
Yeah.
that's just what you do. That's part of the growth and learning of small business, and just, because it's not going to be perfect the first year, 2 years. It'll never be perfect, but you will learn and you'll get better at it every single quarter. You will. You'll get better.
Stuff that flew out from Amazon last year ain't barely moving this year. So it's hard. It's hard to see. Go ahead and switch it to the next.
Okay.
So like I said, we learn from your competition. Find something that they are successful at doing and find a way to improve it. So that's like us building bundles. We find something that's selling successfully and we're like, well, what can we put with that and sell at a higher price? You see, oh, this doll is selling great. Well, if I put a little thing of clothes with it, and I can sell it for $20 more. I just improved that doll because now that doll has some clothes to be changed. Because girls like to change boys like to change, the clothes on the doll. And then you find areas where they are weak in and make that your strength. I'm just going to stay on bundles. If you find a bundle that's like, why did you put those things together? But I can see where you were going, and I can find a way to make that bundle better and make that your strength is finding the bundles that work better. Or maybe they're just not good with shipping it, and they have a lot of bad feedback of how their stuff always arrives broken. And you make sure that you pack your stuff very well and it doesn't break during shipping. You're going to have people coming back because they know when they get their item, it's not going to be broken. Or they're slow at shipping stuff out. It takes them 3 or 4 days to get stuff shipped out. But you ship out next day. And so all your feedback on your platform says fast shipper, came well protected, was well packed. People look at that stuff. So make that your strength. And just as you are watching them, your competitors are watching you. So don't be complacent about just staying at one place. You always have to keep on growing in your business and making sure that you keep on top of everything, because your competitors are watching you, and after a while they'll be the one copying you, just like you started copying that stronger competitor that you used to watch.
True.
All right, knowing your marketplace. With e-commerce now, there is so many marketplaces to sell on. I started with eBay in 2014, but you gotta make sure that your products are in the right platform of where your customers that you are trying to reach shop. I could put vintage items on Amazon, but that's not where a lot of people who are specifically looking for vintage items shop. People who really want vintage items, they'll either go to eBay or Etsy. So, you know, you have to understand where you get what the products that you want for the customers you're reaching to shop, because like I've been learning about there's all these other websites. There's a place called Grailed. It's for men's clothes. They sell clothes on there, specifically towards men, and they will pay, you know, almost double for what the same item would sell on eBay, because eBay, you have people who are looking for bargains. eBay's kind of, you know, everyone says it's the garage sale of the internet. People are looking for bargains on eBay, but you can go to the higher places like Poshmark and eBay, Grailed, or was Thread Up and stuff, and be able to sell your clothes at a higher market, because those people are looking for those name brands. They're not looking for the bargains like eBay. You also understand the market trends and what your customer wants, because there's different trends. And I mean, you can try to sell fingerlings now. They were big 2 years ago.
Thank God I was invaded in those suckers. Thank God. Whew.
God, when I sold them, was selling them for $50-$60 a couple, 2 years ago, because they was the big Christmas toy. They're down at my local 99-cent store for $6, not moving. They got the sparkly koala. They got all these different ones, but they're just sitting there. The kids don't want them anymore. They're not selling. So you have to watch those trends, and you have to know what the trends are. Baby Shark. Last year, Baby Shark was big. It's still kind of going big, but you have to, keep your hand on that pulse of the trends, because you can try to sell bell bottoms, but actually bell bottoms are kind of still in.
They're kind of new, but
yeah, skinny jeans are kind of going out, so no one wants the skinny jeans. Not much. They're not flying off the shelf like they were 6 months ago. You have to know what's on the trend, because if not, your stuff is going to just sit there because no one wants them anymore. They're not trendy. You have to understand how to create a niche for yourself. Some people like to sell everything. I know people that only sell. I know one seller. She only sells what's it called? Like for skater stuff. That's what she sells. She sells vintage clothes, men's clothes. And she sells crazy. She sells shirts for $150 that she finds at the thrift store. I wouldn't be able to to pick that stuff out. But because that's her niche. That's all she has to go into the thrift store and find are those shirts. And where she lives, she can find them. So you have to find what's in your area, what can you sell, and where to sell it. So you have to know your marketplace. And maybe just expand your knowledge too. I personally, every year, I'm like, I'm going to learn more about this. I'm going to learn more about video games. That was one of my things. And I started to sell used video games. I don't sell them a lot, but I know I've kind of grown to look for them. I've started doing vintage items. I've sold some vintage items from the thrift stores. And I've started my Etsy store, which is selling vintage items. You can, on Etsy, you can still vintage, handcrafted goods and art supplies. And mine is mostly, it's all vintage items. And that's was my thing this year, was learning about vintage items. Have I learned everything? No, but it's still a growing thing, but I've learned to, how to look for them. So it's just growing your business that way and knowing all these different platforms. And all these platforms are also, they're always constantly changing. So you have to learn about these platforms and watch their training. I'm going to talk about llamas. Okay, my daughter, she's 15.
Oh, buddy, they love
Yeah,
them llamas.
she is everything llamas. She has llamas all over her room. She has llama dolls. You don't believe how much llama stuff I bought her for Christmas. But she has llama clothes, llama, llamas. Yeah, she freaks out. Oh, there's a llama. I want a llama. Yes. Little 15-year-old girls do. That's her. They're trendy. Llamas everywhere. There's llamas on coffee mugs. You walk through the store, through the toy store, got stuffed llamas. They everywhere. A couple years ago, it was probably panda bears. Before that, unicorns.
And unicorns are still kind of round, but not like the llama. They love the llama.
They love the llamas. I mean, you're high school teacher, so you probably think it.
Oh, I mean, and that's the cool thing about, that's the one good thing about what I do, is I see trends as before they even come out trendy, because they're wearing them. I mean, just like you with your 15-year-old. I mean, she's probably one of your biggest helps in your competition in your market, just because kids are so discriminating. I mean, man.
But when you see something trending, figure out how you can use that, with your products. Are you going to, maybe you do merch. You sell merch. You sell shirts that are customized, and you can put llamas on a shirt and sell it all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Mix llamas with, I've seen llamas mixed with Harry Potter stuff. Because
oh my
Harry
God.
Potter's kind of training for coming back.
I just got a good idea. Because I'm around those high school kids, and the biggest thing, and I've read the articles about these kids my 22-year-old daughter's age, that they, she even said this to me, oh, boomer, all the time.
Yeah.
Bad mouthing the. Could you imagine a llama saying oh, boomer? That would be, Kelly, we're gonna do this later. Okay, we're gonna get our merchant. We're gonna do it.
Yeah,
our idea.
Just came up with ideas here on the fly,
Hey,
and
boomer.
or you come up with a llama stocking, for Christmas. You could have a stocking and had a little stuffed llama, and llama stickers, llama, like I said, llama everything in there, and you probably could have sold it for $50, and you probably spent, maybe $8 or $9 on all the llama stuff from the dollar store, because the llama stuff from the dollar stores too.
Oh yeah.
They had llama socks and everything. It's crazy, but yeah, I never seen such a crazy thing over an animal. So that's an example of how a trend you have to put your business in that trend, but don't fall in love with it, because as quick as llamas became trendy, they'll be lame in the next 2 years. Just like the yearlings, no one's going to want llama stuff in 2 years from now. They'll find something else for you. It'll be I don't know, alligators. Alligators be cool. Everyone wants to be have alligator stuff. So, but you keep your eye on those trends, and that can help you with your business. So we're going to talk about the next thing is financing your business. Getting your business going. You just can't say, I'm opening up my business. You got to, have some money behind it. You can self-finance, credit cards and such, get business loans from the bank, or get investors. And crowdfunding is more like, kind of like stockholders, have everyone kind of put some money in for your business, and then you kind of give them little dividends, of your profits. It's kind of like what stockholders do. But many people who have e-commerce business start by simply selling stuff they had in their house and no longer use. We all have those clothes that were like, I'll fit in them once again sometime or another. I'm about 40 pounds. I can still fit in those jeans eventually, but no. Especially if they're 20 years old, then they're vintage, and you probably make a buku some money on them.
Truth.
So just, many people start with e-commerce by simply selling stuff that they no longer use. I sold my kids clothes that they didn't fit into anymore. I went to the dollar store and saw these cute little doggy vests. I went and put them up on eBay, sold them for $7. So I made a little bit of money, and I was just able to grow that. And then eventually, started Amazon and grow that. I started with used books because it was cheap. Books, used books are not, what do you call it? They're not expensive to get into. You just have to learn how to do your rankings and stuff. But I digress on that. You have to get my book selling course right there.
Okay. Again, multiple streams. That's another thing about financing your business. Multiple streams of income. I mean, because the more streams of income you have, the more time you have to do what you want to do. So I mean, Kelly's got some great pearls of wisdom here. I mean, just starting from one thing that you're comfortable with. I mean, I did the same thing when in the early 2000s when eBay was a new thing. Anything that didn't move around my house was out the door. And then when I kicked my husband out the door, my first husband, everything he left, and I'm not kidding, he left some vintage baseball cards. And my current husband, Chris, my husband and I had already split up and all that. And Chris literally, he was downsized, and it took him a little bit to find a job and give him something to do. He started selling those cards on eBay. All these commons of 1973s and 1972s. I mean, all this, it's crazy what all was left in my house. It was every day I'd have like 2 or 3 high school boys help, take it all down with me to the front office to send it off in the mail. We're talking 8, 9 packages a day. It was crazy. But I mean, that's how I started too. And then, when I ran into that student of mine that hooked me up with all you guys, I mean, that just kind of was a natural fit. So, I mean, and how I really got started that time was finding a party store that was going out of business. And I bought a bunch of costumes you filled up your cart for $20. And that's literally how I got my first start.
Sometimes just finding those little lucky.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Yeah. I know for me, a blind squirrel can find an acorn, and I found one, I think. So.
And also we're talking about, for your business finances, you want to have a separate checking and savings account for your business from your personal account. You don't want to have it mixing, because when it comes to taxes and you got to try to figure out, well, this expense here was me going out to dinner with my husband and kids, and this expense over here was paying for inventory, but I also paid for groceries at the same time. No, you want to have it all separate. I'll go to the dollar store and be buying stuff for me personally and for my business, but I put it all separate. This stuff here is my personal stuff. I'm paying with my personal bank card.
Mm-hmm.
You can switch the slide on.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. But she's right. That separate stuff. I mean, they may hate you too, so you may want to you need to tell the checker off the bat.
And they behind you too.
and say, you may want to go somewhere else. You may want to go to a different line, because they will like you for doing that. And they explain, hey, I got to do 2 separate transactions. That's just the way it is. And sometimes those checkers are so daggum nosy. Are they nosy with you, Kelly? Because they'll look when I'm buying inventory.
Why are you buying all this stuff? And I'll tell them I'm buying it for Amazon. Well, you can sell on Amazon. Yeah, I can teach you how to. You come down to the eCom Sellers Academy right now.
I mean, I do that sometimes, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood. And then they try to get really nosy, and then some of them get judgmental. And I'm just like, oh, are you going to donate it or whatever? I say, I'm thinking I'm donating it to myself to sell. Okay, that's what I'm thinking, because I didn't tell the whole thing, but I just wasn't in the mood. You know, the other morning at when I went to the Dollar General when they were doing their big sale, I just wasn't in the mood to tell that little girl what I was doing. It was none of her business. So anyway, sorry, I got on my tangent about that. But it's really important that you be courteous and nice to those people, because they don't make enough money to deal with, so just when you tell them to do that, because they can make your life a living devil, or they can make it very easy. So just please, when you're doing your separate transactions, please just say, hey, I got to do a separate transaction.
Mm-hmm.
And just because that way they know that it might be an ugly scene. It might not be, and just sometimes just understand, don't go at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So,
but and also don't wait until tax time to do your bookkeeping.
Amen.
You'll be up really late, or you'll be filing extensions and paying penalties because you're trying to figure out how many mileage you've done. I personally use a mileage app. That's been the biggest save this year, is a mileage app that tracks as I drive, and then in my app I can categorize it as, this was a personal, this mileage was for my business. There's different mileage apps out there. I use Everlands, there's Mileage IQ, there's a bunch of different ones that you can use. But and I'm paying a little bit more for it, but it's a subscription, which is a tax write-off. So you'll learn about all these tax write-offs when you get, meet up with your CPA accountant, or you can, look online. But it's best to have an accountant or someone who knows the taxes better than you, because they can help you get more deductions. Like I said, hire a CPA who's experienced in online sales to help you do the taxes. So when you're going to find a CPA, remember, you're the business owner and you're hiring them. So you're kind of doing like an interview of them, not the opposite. Yes, you want to find out what they can help you and what their experience is, but you're the one trying to find someone for your business to give you the best service that you need. And if you're at the CPA and the one you're looking at does not sound like they understand online sales as much as you would prefer, just ask them, hey, I don't think you're the best fit for me. Do you know someone who is more experienced in online e-commerce sales to help my business? And most CPAs and accountants will understand that, and probably will have a friend or someone they know who is better suited for your business. And then saving for your taxes. You don't want to be going, oh, I got to pay $3,000 in taxes to cover my federal taxes after all my deductibles. I don't have that money. What am I going to, then you'll have to file extensions and pay penalties. And so you want to save about 30% of your profits to cover your federal taxes. So that's why you want to have a savings account for your business. You earn interest, so that'll help a little. But if you don't want to be caught unaware. I did that my first year, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to come up with how much? I'm going to have to run some sales to really get some money going in so I can cover that. So.
Well, and my husband was really good about that. Of course, every time, and I like to go to our, because I live about 45 to 50 minutes from the Oklahoma border. So I like to cross it and go see the people at the WinStar. And every time I hit pretty decently, I'm always handing him half of it. Just, and
Yeah.
I won a good jackpot about 18 months ago. And I literally walked in and handed him half of it as I was pouting. And it was like a 2,800 jackpot. And I knew his hand was out, and I just pouted and handed him half. I said, here, take it. And I pouted. But I mean, he's good. He's really disciplined, and he's a great saver. And he's, that's the reason why spenders and savers are really good when they're in marriages together, because somebody has to be the boss and somebody has to be disciplined. And I'm thankful that he does that, because there are some years that we still have, even after he's put away stuff, my earnings in January and February are going toward the tax bill for the previous year. But this year, I think we're going to be okay, but because of the change of the business model. But I think we're going to be okay. And the fact that every time I turn around, I'm handing him money. And if I hand him money, hey, hold on to it, I don't ever get it back. It's his favorite word is, it's for taxes. That's what it's for. It's taxes. And I pout. No. And I'm just like, So, but it's a good thing. And she's right. You need to save 30, maybe 35%, because, as she says, it's a much better thing to not have to write more money to the IRS than it is to, realize how short you are. And you're like, oh my gosh. And it's not pretty. So, and also as she's talking about holding on to everything, because you never know when, because they love to audit small taxes. My ex-husband was a small business revenue officer, and it's ugly. You just don't want to be part of that. So do what she tells you. That way you probably won't be. So I'm going to the next one. So
all right. So in closing, we've gone over what you need to get your business started and running on a good start. And in our next session, we're going to go over what kind of tools and supplies you need to help to run your business smoothly. And if you've already been selling, you probably already know, but there might be some newer things that may come out to tell you, like the apps. Like the app I use for mileage. That can really help you save you time instead of having to remember to write down your mileage every time you go to the store, or and then you forget.
And every year, I'm going to try your app, because every year I'll say I'm going to do it, and I do it for about 2 days, and then I'm just like, forget it. So this upcoming year, I'm excited, because I'm going to be ready to go too, because I'm just not as disciplined as Kelly is about that. That's that nurse training she has. But because I'm definitely on that part, that's my free spirit journalism thing going on. But I'm excited. I'm ready. So I hope you guys are ready too.
Nursing, if it's not written down, it wasn't done. So
amen. Guys, thank y'all for having us and letting us be with y'all tonight. So,
and well, thank you, and hopefully this will help you with your businesses. And if you have any questions, we'll you can put them in the group, and we'll try to answer them best as we can. So that way, everyone can get the answers.
I think it's great. All right, y'all. Good night.